what you looking at? I got a TKO on wherever the pool is at. What you looking at, boy? What you looking at? Got two leaves of my own, I don't need a gang. Hold up, no sir. Step into the mic, bring me closer. Sabotage back in the lab, and to stop that you gonna have to go through both. That swole up. Anytime I pull up the bars, I buck up my shoulders and pour the heart. Word to God, my gears push to start a feature, but my skill set a la carte. Woo! You don't understand. I got something sins in one palm of my hand. Balls are always rigid and bodies get numb every time I demonstrate the main rule.
Yes, sir. It is on. It's on, baby, because it's Monday night. And you're back with the one, the only, the notorious one, the biggest one. Your mama like him and all that. Not to mention the handsome one. TKO. And I have her back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the bad intentions herself. The you better find somebody safe to play with. It's right here, the one and only Kiki Jones. Kiki Jones, everybody say what's up to everybody out there to knock out world.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Bad Intentions, the certified crash out. Yes, misplay with something safe because I ain't the one. Kiki Jones. How's it going, everybody?
Absolutely. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. TKO is here and still the Gas Junior Heavyweight Champion, that is. But what it is that we wanted to do a recap, and what it is, we enjoyed the time we spent with Kiki Jones. She's also been on the show with us this past, on a previous episode of Get Money Sports. Check us out on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon, where we have some good old time talking about all sports, that is. And now it's actually pleasant and a pleasure to have Kiki sometimes joining in on us on Saturdays, because honestly, it's very hard to find a woman that can have respectable conversations about sports because she actually knows more than just the color of the team's jerseys. Okay, so
So what do they do with the basketball again? You're supposed to throw it into this thing called a hoop? No, I'm just playing.
hey, I mean, but hey, you would be. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
when you're an apex athlete like ourselves, right? Because it's professional wrestlers, I don't care. We could take on the world when it comes to what we do. If you want to come fight us, please don't let us grab you. You're done. It's a done deal. You're finished.
Right.
And if you think, and I love when people say this too, is that can you fight? And I'll just be like, well, the question ain't so much can I fight, it's more or less can you take a punch? Because I could take one. I know Kiki could take one. So for all you out there, it ain't a question about what I can do. It's about what you can be able to take from me or Kiki is what we're saying as wrestlers. Come try us if you like. We got an open door policy.
Yes, open door.
But everybody, the main reason why y'all all here and y'all know why you crazy knockouts all over the world. Kiki, I know that you know we're 300,000 strong now on our way, and we're still climbing every single week. We're on that road to 400,000, baby. And I think we can do it because every week y'all show us here at the Knockout Hour that y'all love combat sports. You love us pro wrestlers. You love your boxing news. You love your MMA. And that's why you come here. We got a little earlier start tonight, which is a blessing. So we're gonna have a little 5 more minutes of fun. But this right here, everybody out there, if you're a first time here, thank you for coming. You're gonna have a great hour and 5 minutes that is. And then but also our returnees, that is for Amanda, Walter, Brian, and also the United States Airlift Wing, the 86th Division that always shows up and represent. We know we love y'all. Y'all be safe. Thank you for protecting our country because you are the best fighting troop in the world. Hey, argue with your mama. I don't care. But but here on the Knockout Hour, what we do here is that we be able to give you guys, ladies, the latest news when it comes down to MMA, boxing, and wrestling. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I since me and Kiki been having fun with wrestlers, and we just had a recent event that was Icon Pro X 10. That is, if y'all guys and ladies don't know nothing about the Roman numerals, but it was the 10th show, and we actually have drum roll. Let me see. I got a drum roll on this thing. I think I got one. Oh, I actually do. Nope, they ain't it. Hold on. No, I'm gonna do this one. That's how it's gonna go down because we got the Icon Pro 10 video in 4K quality. That's right. So for all you other promotions out there, get your camera game up, get your production game up. because we stepped ours up. That's right. We represent that Icon Pro 10. Kiki, I'm gonna make sure you get one of these shirts too, so don't worry about it.
I was about to ask you. I forgot to ask you about it at the event. I was like, I want one, and then I completely spaced it. But yeah,
No, you're
definitely
good. Send me your address so I can get that to you ASAP because I gotta look out
will
for it.
do.
Oh yeah,
Will
absolutely.
do.
Everybody on the show gets one as well because I love that with Icon Pro, I am the owner and also a member, and I do participate in live wrestling. I've been a professional wrestler now for 7 years. Um, I would, as to say, will I be winding down? Probably. I let's see, year 10. I think about it may be it, but I still
Nah, come on. You got it in you. You got like 15, 20. I can see it.
no. I like owning the business part now. I like the behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
That is fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would give up wrestling. Yeah, 3 years. Because I
You
think
want to be Shawn Michaels in the behind the scenes. I see where you're going with that. Okay.
I would say too, it's also like where like the thing about like in this area, I do it only to build up the company because I'm people recognize me, so they know
Right.
me. Use that to get the people in. Once they're in there, and when you take over, they see you more. They're gonna attach to Kiki. Anybody else like Alexander Moss, BK Westbrook, Eric Roy, everybody on our talent, even the Scarlet Sky, they're gonna fall in love with y'all so much that I could just fade to the back. And that's the
Gotcha.
plan. Because I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be like where I'm like, all right, I sound like I'm old school, but I'm more like also too, I've been built different because I had a family. And a lot of people out
Gotcha.
there, not being disrespectful, but it's easier to go through life when you know that your family got your back in every decision you make. You know, and
Right.
having those mistakes, I watched my grandfather, I watched my family. They all own a business and they all struggled. Yet they prospered because they stayed diligent and kept going forward. Right. So our plan is with Icon is only to establish in this neighborhood that Teddy Ireland Jr. and the rest of our talent is trying to give good entertainment, build up to community, because I believe in community. If you know your neighbors and you know everybody around, it makes it a whole lot easier to function and work together. So with wrestling communities, like let's say for instance, the Graham High School, anywhere else we have another event. The job of what we do as entertainers is bring you guys together to enjoy us. But at the same time, the pleasure is we get to perform in front of you guys that now it's easier to know Michael knows Melissa and Ashley knows Rebecca. It doesn't matter. That's what this whole entertainment business is to bring you guys together. That's the part of
Right.
community, right? So they don't
Right. Right.
right? Not to mention, there's other things we're gonna talk about in this show because I know I'll be saying some stuff in the match, or it'd be a moment I'm down and me and my opponent just sitting there talking, and we'll look at the crowd, just watch y'all faces. It's funny. I will talk about that in the Icon show because there was some moments I had that I was laughing. But I would say this in your time of being a wrestler, because again, I know you debuted in what was it, February 28th, 26th?
Yes, that is correct.
You're the
28th.
first.
You were right the first time. Yep. 28th.
So, and knowing that too, we're gonna get into the match later because again, we're gonna always look and evaluate ourselves, especially after the
Right.
match and stuff like that. We're gonna always have to critique ourselves because again, we
Definitely.
how we look when we're in there. We don't know, but but the thing is, in your time in this business, even with training, because training has training matches and all that, I would like to ask you how in this game, because I know you just began, but do you have
Right.
an exit plan or a time in your mind to say, "Hey, I'd rather walk out of this business before they carry me out"? Do you have like an exit plan in your mind of what woman that be?
That is a very good question. To be honest, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. No, I haven't thought of an exit strategy yet.
Mm,
I'm not going to lie. I'm in this phase where I don't want to call it an addiction, but that's what it feels like. And what I mean is, if you said Icon Pro Wrestling right now is having a show this weekend, I would be ready to go and stuff. It's to a point where, and I had to get some advice from some other wrestlers and stuff because I love it so much that without coming off begging, and of course we've had plenty of talks outside of the podcast where my approach is always how to be as respectful as possible, but also show that, hey, I'm really serious about this. I'm gonna put in the work, so on and so forth, because I basically want to work any and everywhere and get as much in, because I've always been a visual and physical learner. So, and don't get me wrong, I still study, tape, and watch as well, because you also still learn in that aspect, because that's the whole point of being a student of the game when we're talking about professional wrestling. I mean, you could use it for many other things, but we're talking about professional wrestling. But even with me studying people, and not just your MJS, whether I'm talking about other independent wrestlers, um, I know I need to get in there physically and stuff. So the more, whether it's training and matches or matches, however, that's how you get better and whatnot. So, but as far as the exit plan, I basically, because I know I haven't taken any extreme bumps, because I know like what you're getting at. We all have what was called a bump card,
Correct.
and you only have so many before it's like, yep, time to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't really used that and stuff. I think I try to base my style off of being as safe as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you won't necessarily see me do, as much as I will love to do stuff where if it makes sense to a story to do some coloring or this, that, and the third, or do some hardcore matches. But no, I'm not going to do a CZW type of career where it's just every match is just barbed wire and this and that and just doing crazy, because that's not really, that's a style of professional wrestling, yes, but that is not the style I aim to look for. Even if I was 10 years younger, I wouldn't do that style, because I am trying to do it as long as I can because I love it. So, but you do have a point with having an exit strategy though, because there is no, in life even, there's no guarantee. So there's not a guarantee, God forbid, knock on wood, I am able to have a 15, 20-year career, but that's not a guarantee. So it is, smart to kind of think about, well, what if
Mm-hmm.
type of a thing, because there's just no guarantees with it.
Yeah, because I'm at a point. A lot of people don't understand. I'm 39, right? So going into this business, I started in my 30s, and
Gotcha.
yeah, and so like you gotta imagine, my youngest is 9 years old. My youngest daughter. So
Gotcha.
the reason why I'm looking at the other side so much too is because in my life, I always felt like I'm able to start something and end it. I feel like you're right. Like life is not so much as from the time I'm born to the time I end, but we have so many small beginning and end in our lives that we don't celebrate as much, right? So let's say academics. For a lot of folks out here, you go in kindergarten, preschool, you go all the way up to high school. Yeah, why do you graduate so wait, why do you celebrate so hard on graduation day? Because this is the completion of my educational um, part of my life. So
Right.
education, boom, you birth a new part, young teenager and stuff like that. So I look at wrestling as the same stage. If I stay in this game too long, then I will feel like I'm doing this business a disservice because I know my body physically. I'm not beat the crap. Like just like you said, number one, I can't and I would not bleed because I'm sorry. I'm just not going to, unless you do it the hard way and it just happened, no problem. But I have three daughters, a wife. I'm never going to say in a community, I'm not going out here to say that anybody that does that, I have mad respect. So do not get that misunderstood at all.
Right. Right.
There's a time and a place for that. And, hey, more power to you. I'm not tripping on that. I was recently in a cage match, war games match, where everybody was going to do it. And I looked around and said, hey, well, hey, y'all have fun there, baby, because TKO don't bleed. And everybody knows that's my thing. I'm just not going to do it. I don't care what the story is, because I got to explain it to my children. Why did I do that?
Gotcha.
So I just, when I ever came in this business, I would say, just like you, I'm going to do it as safe as I can. At the same time, enjoy it, because even if you do it safe, you get hurt sometimes. This is going to happen. But the main thing I knew about this business is I've seen some wrestlers in my time that I feel like maybe it's better if you walk away before they have to carry you away. And
Right.
I want some part of my life after this business. So let's say hypothetically, if I go to 45, let's say I say, hey Teddy, at 45, you're done. You'll never wrestle another match again. Then I'm at peace with that. Because at
Gotcha.
that point, I know to myself, this is the best I could have done because beyond 45, I don't think I'll be no good to nobody in the ring. Just being realistic. But
Right, right.
yes, I love what you just said though, because we have to sometimes create realistic goals in our career, and at the same time, we need to have some type of line that it's kind of like you got to have a line that you won't cross yourself because you still got to have respect for yourself after this business, right? And you'll see so many wrestlers in their past that went too far, and now they don't realize, dang, what did I really do that for? Like, what did I really gain out of that? And being
It
honest,
is painful to watch, like you said, because there's plenty of people. May he rest in peace, Sabu, for example. I
hmm
mean, the man was having to smoke this and take that to. I mean, it's not funny, but it just makes me chuckle that, like you
yeah,
said, and these are individuals. Same thing with I love him to death, Ric Flair, but you
hey,
didn't need to
oh, I'm glad
do
you said that. Like, oh my God, like he's like,
like, sir,
sit your butt down, please.
you're established, you're a legend, you're a Hall of Famer. You have nothing left to prove. And all joking and hee hee ha ha's aside, I was actually genuinely concerned for Ric Flair
Mhm.
because in all actuality, I was talking. Me and my boyfriend talked about it when he had that final match. I was like, this man really loves wrestling so much. He does not care if he dies in the ring like that. I feel like that's how Ric Flair feels complete. Is that if I die in that wrestling ring, hey, kudos to me. I did die doing what I love. But it's like you said, I don't want to see that.
That
We
what
get it, Ric Flair. You're a legend. Like you go enjoy retirement, relax, rest, enjoy yourself. You don't need to. What like you said. What was the point? What is there to prove? You don't have nothing to prove. You're Ric Flair.
exactly? And that
Like,
is on the other table. Look at someone like this that I love, and still to this day, I can still not watch a match of his without crying, or I don't even try to even watch it. Bray Wyatt.
right.
Bray Wyatt
Yes.
right now,
Yep.
I cannot watch anything. He makes me cry so hard because I believed in him when he first emerged on the scene. And my wife and everybody know me. I was like, that's my guy. Bray Wyatt. When he won that title on SmackDown, when he finally won the heavyweight title,
Right.
please, like, people go back and watch that moment. If you're a real fan of like just pure, this ain't wrestling right now, this man is like really that he accomplished that as a person.
Right.
You know,
Right.
right there in wrestling you live for. Like when I won my first title, after 7 years, I mean 6 years at that time, I cried so hard. If you watch me right after that match, all you see is my eyes is red and just tears all over my face. And I get teary eyed thinking about it every now and again because I'm like, I earned that. Like I had
Right.
to work for that every single time. Because long story short, when you look at this business, Ric Flair, we lose no respect for you, nor will you gain any more, in my opinion. You have been a trailblazer of this industry. You are
Right.
the reason why Oba Femi strut is the way it is. You're the reason why people do the figure four leg lock to the little brother and sister when they was kids. I mean, you are
Right. But you're
right.
right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I don't get is that for some of these guys, what impact are you leaving that you realize that you're being selfish right now too? Because some of these young guys
True.
need more opportunities. And y'all guys, the ones that won't move out of the way, or you think you're helping the young guy get over, well, you're really not, because you're not doing more than or even half of what the kids are going to really do out here on the indie scene. You're not. I mean,
Right.
brother and sisters out here, we will try to work the easiest match possible sometimes. Because let's say, good example, me and Kiki about to have a match. Okay, so let's say if I go up to her and we're trying to figure each other out, I'm not going to tell you all the ins and outs. We're not doing that. But what the main thing would be is we got to find a way to be good dance partners.
Right.
We got to find a way to make it vibe, right? So what we do is we engage with again one another's concepts what of who we are we want to display, right? Once we come to a decision on how this is going to work for us, right? Our job is again now we got to stay working as great dance partners in order to put this over. Okay, if you're an old cat and you're like, let's say 50 and older. If you're at that range, that's not you. Majority of the time, they're gonna sit there and try to make the match work around their old ass instead of working about what the young guy need to do. So they'll make
Right.
sure all their stuff in, and then now the young boy need to get it in. No, your job is not to do that. Your job is to literally put together a match that works for both of you guys, who y'all both are in there. And then at the same time, yes, get let the young boy, young lady highlight itself. So me and Kiki in this match, it's gonna be some time. I'm gonna let Kiki shine her tell off because this crowd need to know her. Because while she is the one that's gonna be living more in this business than I am, I got one foot at the door. Kiki is taking one step in. So the future, the next 7 years is Kiki, not TKO. That's your future, right here. There we go. There,
Right.
right there,
Yep.
right there. That's the future of the business. This person right here
Me.
beside me. So for all you cats out there that y'all are out here and you're long in the tooth, you know it's hard for you to get up to go do that match. Your back hurt, your leg. Just stay at home, bro, or stay in the crowd and help. Just do not keep taking these roster spots from these kids that really need the time in order to work so they can get to where they need to get to. Trust me, you'll be fine. They'll always keep finding TKO in Burlington, North Carolina, or Raleigh, North Carolina. I ain't going nowhere. But when it comes to Kiki, y'all keep your eyes on her, not me. I ain't going nowhere.
Well, and then the people, and like you said, just to add on to that, it's like, for example, like with AJ Styles and why he retired because he's got, his neck was bothering him. It's like people forget those veterans and Hall of Famers and legends are now working behind the scenes to help better the next generation and stuff. And I was going to say, it kind of reminds me of what you were talking about with that, where that's why, well, there's many of reasons why WCW fell apart, but one of the biggest reasons
Hmm.
is like you just said, you have these well-established guys from the golden era and everything from the 70s and 80s that didn't want to move and give up their spot. And it's like even though I'm obviously not a legend or that in that position, I'm just visualizing, okay, if I work my way up to being the legend that I am and this, that, and the third, when
Hmm.
you are thinking, when you're always in the mindset of you're number one, I understand it's very hard to give that up and just kind of step aside. However, you still have, at the end of the day, you have the knowledge that you
Hmm.
can pass on. So, regardless of the fact that you're stepping away from the limelight, it's like if they had allowed Booker T and the Jeff Jarrett's and the Rey Mysterios and the Chris Jericho, that's why a lot of the guys left WCW because they were able to get that shine and push in what is now WWE and
Hmm.
stuff because people didn't want to give up spots and whatnot. And another thing is like another prime example of someone that's really good at getting the young talent over is Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
He is very unselfish and he's smart. He knows that if it has to just make sense. If it makes sense, he has no problem doing it. That's why we've been seeing him take a bunch of like you said, letting Obafemi shine
Hmm.
to build up for this match because, as we all know, outside of being a fan, Obafemi is meant to kind of be that the ruler. He is the kind of the next Brock Lesnar. So that's where that buildup comes in. So you got to we know Brock's the beast. We've seen him establish who he
Hmm.
is. You got to let the young guy get that shine in so that way we can get behind, like, oh, this is like legit. He's really taking it to this beast that we know that has conquered any and everything and stuff. So it just, it's like my boyfriend used to say, everyone has a highlight reel, and at some point you become a part of someone else's highlight reel. You don't just get to have highlight reels for yourself.
And I would say this last part to tie all this up too, because that goes a very good point. I want to go out like Peyton Manning. I love the Sheriff Peyton Manning. He's my favorite quarterback of all time. I'm not going off of yes. If you want to say the greatest of all time to ever play the game, probably Tom Brady. Okay, but
Right.
favorite of all time is the Sheriff. He's out there dealing. When that man went out, he could have played another season, even though he was beat, battered, and all that. Yet he realized
Right.
the same thing, like in this business, they always say the same ladder you go up and the same people you beat, will be the same way going down on the other way. So you better show everybody respect on the way up because it can be rough on the way down, right?
Right.
Realistic. I'm gonna go out on top. I don't want to go back down that ladder. It's not because I disrespected anybody, but if I put this game at the top of where I'm at and I'm satisfied, I can leave it there. And my job
Right.
is to, of course, go backstage with Icon and produce the next crop of talent because the real vision of what we're going to do at Icon, and we will get there because we already at phase one. Phase one is to get back to doing what we do best, and that's providing live entertainment. We will have the Icon Pro X show up this week. So stay tuned to the Icon Pro website as well as the Icon Pro Wrestling LLC on YouTube, Twitch, and all these social medias because we're gonna have it out there for you guys. 4K definition quality. That brings me to another good point, by the way. And I gotta give a shout out to my sponsor. Monster Energy Drink. That's right, that's right. Got me a nice cold one right here. See, Monster Energy Drink, when you're looking for that nice burst of energy that you need after a long day, heck, even to start the day off right, grab your Monster Energy Drink right now. Hey, if you want to unleash that beast, just like TKO and Kiki here, that hey on the knockout hour, we go in there and get to your local convenience stores. Anyway, you can find Monster Energy Drink. Go ahead and take your sip. I was actually sitting here drinking right now the Ultra Strawberry Dreams, and it tastes just like one. So, thank you, Monster Energy Drink, for being a proud sponsor of the Knockout Hour. All right, had to take care of that. We didn't get a chance to get some music tonight, but we will have it next week. So, all you hip hop fans out there, don't worry, he'll be back next week. Our gracious host DC was experiencing some issues at the home, and that's more important than anything else. I'm gonna be honest, because DC's the man, and he always does the best for us here at Knockout Hour. We love you, D. Hey yo. And so DC that is. And that little D was wild. Anyway.
I just caught that and wasn't even paying attention.
Hey, I checked myself so quick, I'd be like, hey yo, right after so. Let's get to some really quick things about another sport right here because we enjoying our wrestle talk. We're gonna get in a couple minutes. We're gonna do our top 5 greatest women's wrestlers of all time. Since we have the great Kiki Jones here, we was like, hey, let's do that, have some fun. We're gonna go from 5 to 1 like we always do. So they give y'all some time. We're gonna probably do that in 5 to 10 minutes. So everybody, if you can make a list, your top 5 greatest female wrestlers of all time. All right. So one thing I noticed over the past weekend, my boy Deontay Wilder, he was back in the ring and he came out victorious with a split decision, that is. And I was kind of surprised by that because we all know that Deontay Wilder has what we like to call in this business, the eraser. He has a knockout punch that will demolish any athlete in any time or any sport. It don't matter. I would say that great Tyson Fury was able to get up from that, which I was highly surprised. He was dead to rights, but he got up. But this past Saturday, Deontay Wilder won by a split decision. It was in the O2 Arena. Scorecards went 115 to 111, 112 to 115, and then it was 115 to 113. And it was a wild, messy heavyweight bout, more of a brawl than a technical fight. Wilder scored 2 knockdowns during the fight. Both fighters had moments where they were hurt, and the fight had chaotic exchanges and even wild moments. And so right here, big talking points is Wilder admitted he held back at times out of respect. And it was likely, his opponent was his last fight. I would say that it shows too that Deontay Wilder's record now is 45-4 with 1 draw, and he has now had back-to-back wins. So what's next for Wilder? Well, Wilder immediately called out Anthony Joshua for a potential big fight. So the question is, if you want to play promoter right now, would you book that fight between Deontay Wilder and with Anthony Joshua? What would you think?
I mean, I would, if I'm as a promoter, if I'm thinking about ticket sales and everything and putting butts in seats, people definitely would pay to see it. My thing is that Anthony Joshua is coming off of, the loss of his, he's coming off of something, and Deontay, yes, he's making a comeback. My thing is that if I book this fight, I understand why Deontay held back in this fight that he just had,
Mhm.
but you gotta bring that killer instinct, especially if we're gonna be calling out
Mhm.
fighters and stuff of that nature, because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about riding off into the sunset. And you can kind of tell when it comes to combat sports, not just professional wrestling, but just combat sports.
Mhm.
It seems like when a fighter is on their last leg or it's their last fight and then they're calling it, yeah, they're gonna give their all, but you can tell it, you can just tell it's something with the mannerisms and stuff. Deontay, I feel like, just lost his killer instinct because, like you said, normally he's knocking people out. I mean, he's throwing them bombs
Mhm.
and stuff. I understand wanting to be safe because we also seen, fighters where they take too many shots and they end up suffering horrible brain damage. I mean, actually, if I'm not mistaken, boxing has one of the highest death rates when it comes to combat sports and stuff. So I get that, but at the same time, we know what we signed up for when we decide to be. We know that you don't play boxing.
Mhm.
It's not a game. So, but yeah, as a promoter, I would book the fight. I just would need to know that they're both going to bring it and that they're both mentally there. And the only reason that's why I brought up Anthony Joshua in his situation because he's coming up. His emotions is probably still high because he is still dealing with that whole situation after just fighting Jake Paul and stuff of that nature. But they both would need to bring it. That's all.
I'm gonna be honest. That's a scary fight. Like the more I just sat here and thought about that fight, I was like, honestly, I'm kind of scared for Joshua. Um, I would say this, like even with the Jake Paul fight, Joshua was being very nice to him. He was being very patient. He was taking his
Right.
time. He was like really reading out the situation, and he watched him. When I think he wasn't supposed to do that, he did it right. I think that's different with Wilder. Wilder's punching power is so dominating that we've seen Joshua take lesser hits and been knocked out. So only thing it really takes is Deontay with one. And I
Right.
that Joshua may have some very good boxing skills, but he's not on the level of he couldn't outclass him as well as let's say like a Tyson Fury. Now when Tyson
Gotcha.
got hit, which everybody does with Deontay, you're going to go down. There's no other way around it. The question is, can you get up? And I done seen too many times where Anthony Joshua have been hit with less, and he done been seeing every type of cuckoo bird in the sky. So I just don't see where uh somebody with what 10 times more punching power than you would ever face hitting them bombs on you. I don't see it. But I do think too, as we all know, sometimes death inspires the raw animal out of us. Like
True.
I remember at times where I lost a brother in this business. I mean, in real life, I lost my first friend I ever had in my life. I lost him in this business. At the time I've been in this game, and for a while I was lost. Like TKO was wrestling, I will say like a zombie. It wasn't like the way I wanted to until I finally was able to deal with that and come to grips with him being gone. And then after
Right.
that, it's like now this resurgence of energy, this burst came back to me. And I feel like Anthony Joshua, it can really be one or the other. We can probably get zombie Joshua, or we can get this freaking killer out of nowhere because he's now blocked in and he's like, hey, I'm doing this for this. But we'll see
Right.
because we got plenty of time before we can even get to these gentlemen being in the bout. But we'll let you guys and ladies know about that as the weeks go on. Right now, let's get into having some fun. We at the 7:30 time frame, so that means we got 30 minutes left. It's been some fun so far, and let's go ahead and have some fun for the next couple of 10 minutes, and just engage in having a little conversation about top five. Now, this top five list for everybody: top five women in wrestling history. I mean, your greatest of all time, your goats. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. This is a fun list of our personal opinions. I'm not basing this off of no real logic of okay, X, Y, and Z. This many. I really don't care. We're gonna have fun. So, I don't care.
Right.
At 20 title defenses. That's not why I'm doing this list. I'm doing this for specific reasons only because we're having fun. All right. So let's go ahead
Right.
and get this part out the way so y'all don't be like, oh, TKO tripping. You left out so many people. Well, it's only 5, all right? So it don't matter if I pick 5. They're gonna be like, well, what about this one? Well, what about this one? I'm like, no reason. Put them on yours, and I'll respect it just the same because we have. All right. So when you give the person name, we're gonna do like good example. You can do a brief little reason or not, or just drop that name. But I'll start it off. So the number 5 on my list of greatest women wrestlers of all time. That again, this is just TKO's fun little list. I'm gonna go with number 5. This list about to be real melanated. I'm gonna let y'all know that too. It's about to be real melanated, real melanated. And I'm gonna all right. Before I start the list, Tim, let me get this understood. There's some things that people gotta understand. There's people are not racist or prejudiced to see that there clearly is a distinction between that I am a person of color compared to most of my counterparts in this business are fair skinned or light of skin, right? What I've been heard or said, we know is the South that I live in, wrestling's a white man's sport. We get it. We totally understand that, all right? And at this point, we're not guests, all right? We're in the house with y'all. So what's up? What y'all cooking tonight? But I want you to understand that don't get it misconstrued that race is the same as culture. See, culture is what we say when we're saying the melanated folks and the way we have again our certain ways of doing things. That's culture. All right. So don't get it mixed up between thinking that I'm saying that an individual, she's white or Mexican or lesser or not the same. Absolutely not. It's just being realistic. Most time you kind of deal with what you're around. So
Right.
let's get that understood. So don't make it seem like, oh my God, you ain't got no. Shut up. Arguably, or another mom. Oh my God, shut up. All right, get over it. Y'all need to chill.
Right, right.
Hey, all right, number 5. I would go with the Hall of Famer, the beautiful, trailblazing Jacqueline. I think Jacqueline, in my time as a young man, being a teenager, going through puberty, Jacqueline.
No, I can understand it though. I can understand it.
I mean, hey, sister was bad, bro, and then she could work. I mean, let's be honest. That's like Sable, right? Everybody talk about Sable. Okay, could Sable really work? No, but
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like,
Sable can't work, and that's what I'm saying. The comparison, Jacqueline can work. The sister can do anything. Have a straight 10 to 15 minute match with Trish Stratus, anybody, Lita, Luna, anybody in her time, she can go. They don't have to carry her. She's more than like, and she's wrestling men. So that's why I love Jacqueline. Shout out to the Hall of Fame and the beautiful Jacqueline. I'll just go ahead and
yes,
number 5.
yeah. You kind of took my number 5, but uh, another person that I'll put at number 5 that I did think about was Jazz.
Yes.
She had the physique. She can work. I mean, she just next to Jacqueline.
Mm.
Those were I loved watching them work when I was a kid. You know, growing up, and especially being a black girl. That oh, these women can get down. Like representation matters
Correct.
at the end of the day, and to see these women in a light that they are athletic, they're good looking, and they're not perceived as the typical stereotypes of loud, ghetto, and ratchet. They weren't forced to portray that kind of character. Um, to me, that's what was inspiring to watch them, as well as, like you said, they look good. It's like the Big Show said it. These girls look good, and they could whoop your ass doing it. Like that's the best, and that's what was inspiring watching them. So yeah, Jazz for me, and she could do any kind of match. I mean, she was in ECW, so she got down with the hardcore. She could work whatever you wanted her to work. I wish they would have given her more opportunity when she did get to WWE, but that's a different topic.
And then I'm gonna get some honorable mentions really fast because there's a lot. All right. I got an honorable mention of right now, Awesome Kong.
Oh
That's
yes,
in mind right now. I'm going to say that. Another honorable mention of mine, China. So you
Yep.
can cross these off your list, everybody. I know y'all. This is probably yours. This is mine. All right. China was another one. I would say another one. All right. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this one. Mercedes Monet, or to me, Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I think that. And my last honorable mention, because any of these women clearly could have just been on this list for me. It's gonna be hard saying this. Naomi. Naomi
Oh,
Osaka
definitely.
as an honorable mention because I want her to be in my top five, and I'm evaluating it, and I can't do it because my number four right now, number four, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair. I
Okay.
think Bianca Belair in her time has been going against several people that is also on my list right now that I think she can hold on weight. She's a phenomenal athlete. She is about dang near flawless in that ring. You don't see her having too many imperfections in her game, and she knows how to command the crowd. So I think she's a amazing talent in ring as well as a great role model to a lot of young women and men.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'd like
Yeah.
her off the strength of in ring performance as well as she carries herself just the same or better outside the ring. So that's why I got Bianca Belair.
Gotcha. My few honorable mentions before I get to number four. One honorable mention would be Lita.
Mm,
Because in her own right, she was a trailblazer with the mixture of like the extreme and lucha style of wrestling, and then also just her character work of when she, because growing up, seeing her being with the Hardys and doing that character work of just being like the cool, rocker chick that just, she's just daredevil, to seeing the heel work that she did with Edge later on and stuff. It's just that's amazing work and amazing athleticism and toughness as well, because she did also come back from the same injury Stone Cold suffered, from a broken neck, and was still able to. It maybe shortened her career, I would assume so, but she was still able to get enough longevity out of it to where she did earn herself a Hall of Fame nod. Um, Another honorable mention. Some might laugh at this one because of the age of the person, but may she rest in peace, Mae Young.
mm-hmm.
The reason I put her in the honorable mentions list, because even though during our time she wasn't a active wrestler in the sense of what we're talking about with female wrestlers, I just remember being in awe of watching someone that's old enough to be someone's grandma
Mm-hmm.
sitting here getting power bombed off of a stage through tables by some grown ass men. And it's the story afterwards though, where which I don't blame Bubba Ray. If you put me in a match, TKO, and said, "Hey, you're gonna wrestle this 70-some-year-old person," I would probably be as gentle as possible. But it's the fact that when we talk about wrestling, she understood and paved the way of just don't look at my age, don't look at the fact that I'm a woman. I'm here doing this because y'all are here. We're here for the same thing, so you're gonna treat me as equal. I signed up for this. I wasn't forced into this. You're gonna slam me like I'm one of the boys. Don't sit here and baby me this, that, and the third. And you gotta have women like that in professional wrestling, regardless of the age,
Correct.
and stuff. So that's my honorable mentions I have. But number four for me would have to be Bull Nakano.
Mm. I like that.
Um, I feel like, especially in that era, a lot of people, unless you watch New Japan and watch Japanese style wrestling and stuff, don't fully understand the difference in style, I think. And I think that was a lot of reason why Bull Nakano unfortunately didn't last as long as she did in WWF and WCW, because, and this is what I might say here is might be considered controversial, but what it is I feel like during that era of American wrestling, when you had the WCW and WWF kind of thing going on, is the Japanese female wrestlers were actually looking better than a lot of what their product had to offer, male and female. So, and they didn't like that. So that's why you only seen Bull Nakano wrestle so much in WWF before they kind of were like, yeah, and stuff. Because, of course, unfortunately, in certain promotions, when maybe the people you don't plan on per se being as big or whatever doesn't go the way as planned, you're kind of like, I can't have you here because you're kind of distracting from what I'm trying to do. Because I feel like we went from Alundra Blaze and the Bull Nakanos and Luna Vachons, women that were here to wrestle, and it turned into kind of the Sable thing where it became showing off, and I get sex sells, but at the same time, because it's like a conversation I was having, even there was a time I stopped watching pro wrestling for a little bit when WWE had that stupid like bra and panties match and the pillow fight crap. That was like popcorn break to me because it's like when I turn on a wrestling show, I want to watch professional wrestling, male or female. I don't care about bra and panties and pillow fights and nipples, and I don't care about that. I don't like wrestling. And stuff. I mean, when you have Eric Bischoff talking about some hot lesbian action, it's like, get to the wrestling, man. I don't care about this and stuff. So, but number 4 for me is Bull Nakano because her style of wrestling, she was a good worker, and her character, she stood out, and that was the thing. The hairstyle, the makeup, and everything. And if you look at some of today's Japanese wrestlers, like Asuka, she got the whole face paint idea, from Bull Nakano. And what's crazy is Bull Nakano looks great as all get out at her age currently. I'm just like, girl, like you don't even look like the same person from back then. Like, what's going on? But yeah, so
look like she can go ahead and tie up right now. Not tie off, but tie up right now. Tie off, Lord have mercy. All right, so I'm gonna be short and sweet with my next 3 because I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they need much explanation why for me. Number 3 would be Victoria. Bro, a lot of people do not understand. Victoria was that one that with Brian Penney's era, she was the real one. And I love Miss Victoria. So Victoria for number 3 for
me. Gotcha. Number 3 for me. See, I'm gonna have to add her in. It is Naomi. And just a quick explanation of why. To see her go from a funkadactyl to proceed with caution, my goodness, that's perfect. And I just can't wait for her to come back.
And shout out to Big Jim and Naomi on the baby.
Yeah, congrats.
And
yeah,
we are proud of y'all. We love y'all. Number 2 for me, this woman right here is probably the biggest mega star in wrestling history, and we're watching every Monday and at this point now Fridays. Rhea Ripley. Her pop when she comes out, she is as loud or even louder than Roman Reigns, and I just think that when she come out, it's like the exact same aura as Roman. You as a wrestler want to have that moment when you step out. It just takes it to 3,000, and that's where you can't teach what she got. I love it. Just everything about Rhea oozes money, and it oozes one of the best in the game. So that's Rhea Ripley number 2.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. My number 2, because I think she's very underrated and overlooked, is Bayley. It's unfortunate because it's crazy because she's technically a part of the four horsewomen, but out of the 4 horsewomen, she kind of gets done dirty a little bit. But her evolution, even, and just her focus on studying the game and everything, and paying attention to detail, that's the kind of stuff that makes you successful in this business. And that's why Bayley is a part of that 4 horsewomen. It's just, unfortunately, she's the most overlooked and underutilized for her resume. Like, her resume is just as good as Becky Lynch's and Charlotte's and stuff, but yet, and I think it's because, unfortunately, with Rhea Ripley and the Bianca Belair, and don't get me wrong, they've earned it too. It's just No offense to Bailey, but Rhea is more over than Bailey is. So even though,
I got two quick answers for that. Number one, WWE failed her because Bailey can work. Her problem is her presentation. It's like Sami Zayn. Those two are probably
mm,
the best ring workers. You have a good match, good story, great. If you're a wrestling fan, like if you enjoy working, how
right,
her presentation is always off. It's not so much as what she does in ring; it's everything else. When she left to being I'm a hugger, that's what messed her up because now it's like you can't put you can't dial it in on why it's a disconnect because they tried to make it seem like she was crazy, and then that just rubbed everybody wrong because it's like, where do we go with this? Like she's not our truth. The girl is like, because Becky Lynch, being honest, she got hyped up over a punch that anybody could, it happens all the time. And I'm gonna be honest, Becky Lynch, in my opinion, is terrible in the ring. Like the girl can't work. If she's in a one-on-one match, she is trash. Go back. I mean, literally watch when she works anybody. She did not make anybody look better, or they are outworking her. Maxine is
I
pretty
can't
much,
argue that one.
yeah. Maxine
Yeah,
is
I can't argue that.
Maxine looked good because she's athletic as hell. If she wasn't as athletic, the match would have been trash. What was the? It was, I think, WrestleMania. Becky went to get somebody, and it was a young one. And I'm looking around like that was the worst match of the whole card that night for me. And I
I'm
forgot it
trying to
had,
think which WrestleMania that one, but yeah, I know it was a one-on-one.
yeah, and she is completely like I can go to sleep watching the Becky Lynch match. But her promo game has got 10 times better. I think she's hilarious now in a good way. Like she can work the heat the right way, but her problem is her match is terrible. I'm sorry, the girls suck when it comes to in ring. I mean, I'm just that's my opinion. But I'm gonna keep it moving.
Right, right,
I'm gonna stop the show because I can go all night with that. But
right.
number three will be Charlotte Flair. I think that without question to me, when I'm if I were to say if I wanted to make up the best wrestler possible, it would be Charlotte. Her ring work, her presence, her aura. I mean, she commands that respect. And then also, you watch her work. That woman can work a 20-minute match like it's 2 minutes. She's just like her daddy. She doesn't get tired, and she's always working hard as hell to put over her talent. She could be very selfish, but I think in this business, she had to be. Because if you want to set a precedent to say, hey, I'm that one, come chase it, and I'm at the top. She made a lot of other ones like Becky get better. She pushed the bar up, so they had to come meet her. And I think she's ever since she's been on the main roster, she's shown us nothing but what a champion woman should be at the highest level. And I think to me, when I think women's champion, I think Charlotte Flair. That's just me. I just think just like her dad, diamonds off forever. That's the same when it comes to Charlotte. My favorite female wrestler of all time.
And what's crazy is that she originally didn't. It's amazing how certain people that professional wrestling wasn't their dream, but yet they are amazing
Mm-hmm.
at it. Like that, because for Charlotte, that wasn't initially her go. Like it wasn't her go-to. But look at, like you said, she's the female Ric Flair.
Yeah.
My number one for me is it's a three-way tie. It's Bianca, it is Io, and it is Luna Vachon. And the reason I put all three in number one is, like you said, Bianca is one in a million. I mean, you're not. I'll put it like this: they can forever try to duplicate and replicate a Bianca Belair, but you will not ever see another Bianca Belair. That's just self-explanatory off bat. Um, uh, who was the EO? EO is finally getting that shine to be able to show what she can do, and I'm happy for her because again, she's like Asuka and like Bull Nakano and stuff. A lot of these, I was going to put Kairi Sane up there too because Kairi Sane gets slept on, especially right now because of the storyline of her being like the domestic violence victim of Asuka right now, with the whole Stockholm syndrome thing going on. But it's a lot of these Japanese wrestlers. They're just now starting to get the shine that they deserve
Hmm.
because we're now in an era of wrestling where they're able to show off that style of wrestling and it's not being looked at as a threat or like, oh, you're making everyone else look bad. In essence, it's almost making everyone else kind of step up and show what they can do type thing. And then so that's why Io Sky, because they can get down. Like it just quit limiting. Like I said, I could go all day with that too. Is there's a lot of limiting and nerfing going on with a lot of these people because when you see these wrestlers when they're in independence or outside of WWE, you almost feel like you're being cheated because it's like, why are you nerfing these people? Like, there's so many, but like I said, so and the reason I said Luna Vachon, and she doesn't get a lot of credit just because I think she was viewed more as a valet than she was a wrestler, but really in actuality, she could work, and she was one of the last few women that she wasn't there to show off her body and stuff like that. And I think that's why it limited her because in an era where they were moving into, well, sex sells and the whole Playboy nonsense and everything. No disrespect to Luna Vachon, I'm not calling her ugly or whatever. It's just she was not that type of person or character that was going to do all that kind of stuff and be the sexy type. I mean, she had the stuff on her face. She kind of had the Bull Nakano type of stuff where she had stuff all on her face and stuff, but she was a good character worker and she knew how to work in the ring. I mean, she does come from a legendary family of pro wrestlers, so
Hmm.
she knew how to work. It's almost kind of like Natalia from the Hart family. Like if they had let her be that natty character when she debuted and stuff all those years ago, she probably would be in the conversation of like the Biancas and stuff of that nature because she would have been a dominant champion as Natty and not the laid back, Heart Foundation, character. So, but yeah,
No, I mean it. I think that's probably one of those Vince things that I'm gonna try to be cognizant of with myself. And I don't. All right, like let's say for instance, and thank you everybody for if you enjoyed that. If you had that little segment, if you had your top five list, again, just share it on the Knockout Hour. We have a good time reviewing that. And thank y'all. Thank you, Kiki, for your list. Well, we got 7 minutes left, and really quick, if you could sum up your match, um, if you could in a minute or 2 minutes, what would you think? Good, bad, or what you felt about that?
my match, it was. There's always room for improvement. I will say that. There was a lot that I learned that I will use moving forward. Um, but yeah, I like how the match worked out, and I'm quite happy with what I did to Scarlet Skies because I kept my promise. I'll leave it at that. The footage will be viewable here later this week, and everyone will understand what I mean by that. So,
No, but I'm glad. No, and as you should, because here's the thing about this business: how many matches have you had so far?
two.
Right. So for everybody out there, let's make this very clear. In this business, I've been in this game for 7 years. I don't know how many matches I had, never kept up. But I would say this: I messed up several times on this past show, and you probably will see that I messed up several times. And yet it keeps going on because what we do in this ring is telling a story. And that night we were telling the story of Kiki Jones. We were telling the story she's having with Scarlet Skies. Everybody out there realize this: we're not perfect. All right, we do the best we can to entertain and give you a good time. Now, here's the thing: people have to realize too. We only get better the more we work. So Kiki will have match three at Icon. The quicker we get this dates up, she'll have match four, match five, match six. She will get to that 100th match. She's gonna get to that 200 match. And she, do you think as us as performers, we don't go back and look at ourselves and look at where we are now? You absolutely right, we do. Because for some of us, you could have had the greatest beginning of your wrestling career and you just off to the moon. But even your favorite wrestler, still to this day, still makes the same mistakes all the time. So, guys and ladies, you have to understand that I am very proud of the work that Kiki Jones and Scarlet Sky has done for us as a team at Icon Pro Wrestling, because we will keep having them back because we're going to keep telling this story because we want these two young women in this business to be able to say that they had time and a company and a place that they can call home to allow them to tell their story of who they are. And when they finish, that story is going to be in the WWE. I already got that feeling. But I would say, Kiki, we are always welcome to have you here at Icon as long as you be able to, you know, come and want to have a good time with us and be able to again
Definitely.
allow us to be able to work together and be a part of your career. And this is that time of the night where people need to know where to find you because we're less than 4 minutes away from that time that y'all, ladies and gentlemen, need to get ready to watch some Monday Night Raw and have a good time. We're on the road to WrestleMania. But really quick, tell everybody where they can find you, Kiki.
All right, on IG, you can find me at Bad Intentions 1090. And on the IG page, if you look in the bio, it'll have the links to the other social media pages like my YouTube, which will have my matches and highlights and promos. Same thing with the Facebook, same thing with Twitter. I don't call it X, tired of keeping track of it. But yeah, so Instagram, Bad Intentions 1090. Follow me there. That's also where you can follow me on my other social media pages that'll have the links for you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I am TKO, the one and only. You can't clone me. Got a lot of hate. Some fans and some fun. No, but anyway, you can find me on Facebook at Teddy Allen Jr. You can also find me at TKO on all social media sites. I'm not on X, not on the TikTok yet. People don't tell me about it. I'm sorry. I don't need. I just stay on. I'm old. I stay on Facebook and Instagram. So I need to grow up. But anyway, I'm too old. Talking about who, baby? Talking about Mike Jones. But anyway, then you can also check us out this week. Icon Pro will have the latest show we had, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. Icon Pro X, and it will be out on our YouTube. Go check us out. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, tell your mama and all that. They're going to love it. Well, you're going to be able to find Kiki Jones, Scarlet Sky's match, as well as TKO going against Metallico in the match of Gouge Junior Heavyweight Championship, which I retain. I don't want, spoiler alert. But it's been a pleasure and an honor to have Kiki on this show again. What I would think is going to probably go on is that we'll have her be a guest of this show like every once a month, bring her along. And we'll just have a good time rocking out, see where she's progressing. And, hey, like I said, just always bringing that fire like we always do. Kiki, how was the show tonight? You enjoy yourself?
I definitely did. I'm always happy to be here.
And as well as, it's always a pleasure to have you because, honestly, guys, it's in this business, it's hard to, again, be an owner of a company and at the same time be a worker because you have to balance so many things. But I'll say that from the beginning of the show to the end, Kiki ain't been nothing but a pleasure to us. Ooh, Mike Jones, baby. But no, she's always been a pleasure to work with. And all the promoters out there, if you're looking for a great talent, that someone that in your latest division that you need to go ahead and have on your card right now, hit her up. Bad Intentions, Kiki Jones. She's ready to go. And y'all out there, hey, we got to leave this show. But like I said, it's your boy, the Notorious One, TKO. This is my homegirl. The Crash Out, the Bad Intentions, Kiki.
Yes.
And as well as all the crazy knockouts and knockouts. We'll be back next Monday. Thank y'all so much. We love you guys. We'll see y'all. Peace.
What you looking at, boy? What you looking at? I got a TKO on wherever the pool is at. What you looking at, boy? What you looking at? Got two Tulies of my own, I don't need that. Hold up, no sir. Step into the mic, bring me closer. Sabotage back in the lab, and to stop that, you gonna have to go through both. That swole up. Anytime I pull up the bars, I buck up my shoulders and pour the heart. Word to God, my gears push to start a feature, but my skill set a la carte. Woo! You don't understand. I got something sins in one palm of my hand. Balls are right rigid and bodies get numb every time I demonstrate the main rule of thumb.